What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Road to Optimal Self podcast. I'm Jay. I am joined this week by Cassandra Walter.
Hello.
Hello. Cassandra, you've been coming to the gym. Well, we've known you. Let's start. I'm going to start a little earlier than normal. You're one of the few people that knew me and Debbie pre-JG3.
Yes, and I've known Debbie pre-you.
Yeah, you knew Debbie pre-me because you work with Debbie.
Yes.
When did you meet Debbie?
It had been 2004, 2005 when I started at the agency.
Holy shit, you've been there that long?
Yes, 17
I did
years.
not realize that.
Yeah, be 18 years in June. So.
Holy fuck, that's a long time to work at anything.
I'm going to retire from there, so
probably. Well, at this point, I mean, they got great retirement.
Oh, yeah,
so your PERS and all that other stuff, I know way too much about.
Right.
It's probably pretty good. But so you knew Debbie pre-me. What was Debbie like back then? I'm going way off.
Sassy as
we're
hell.
We're going right down
same
the
Debbie.
rabbit hole.
It's the same Debbie.
Same Debbie?
Same bullheaded Debbie that we all know and love.
Yeah, she's a different individual. I want to get her on the podcast. But,
she needs to.
But we figure we would just argue for an hour or however long.
Right.
Or we'd turn it into a porno. Who knows? One or the other.
That's
Probably
for the
not.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's pretty soon coming. OnlyFans /JGlaspy3.
Do it.
No, I'm just kidding.
Do it.
Someone will listen to this and go to that and be like, "What the fuck, dude? There's no OnlyFans." No, I'm not doing an OnlyFans. Anyway, so you and Debbie obviously always got along because when we started doing, what was the first event I did with?
We did that run or die thing.
Was that pre-Warrior Dash or was Warrior Dash first?
I didn't do Warrior Dash with you guys.
You didn't? I
No.
thought for some reason you did.
No.
Okay, so then they're all pictured
So,
up there.
yeah.
So for some reason I had you pictured in that with us, but no, you did not do that. So Ride or Die is that what it was called?
Run or Die.
Run or Die.
Run or Die, yeah.
Yeah, that was the stupidest for
It
the
was
record.
fun.
Yes, you think it's fun. I pulled dye out of my ear for like 3 weeks.
My
after
armpits
that.
were green for a week.
Yeah. So for those of you that aren't aware of what those are, we did this at was it Owens? Where the fuck?
It was at Owens.
It was at Owens Community College, and you run, and basically the spectators just throw fucking dye packets at you, and then the race itself was fun. I'll give you that. The race itself was fun. Afterwards, when they said everybody meet up for this, and we didn't know what the fuck was going to happen, and you're just in the middle of a big group of people and dye just starts shooting from everywhere, that was too much. That put it over the fucking top for me.
Yeah.
But when was that? 2012?
That was...
Or no, that would have been 2013 because that was when me
Yes.
and Josh were training for the marathon.
Right.
Had you worked out or done stuff with Debbie prior to?
No. Well,
that?
we used to run together.
Okay.
So, like, before, a long time ago, I used to do, like, jazzercise and stuff, which was fun. Like, I'm talking way, like, my early 20s and stuff. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
I will admit, when we had Fit Fremont and they did a little demonstration, I didn't realize how fucking intense jazzercise
It can
is.
be, yeah.
I'm picturing like Richard Simmons type shit, and that's not at all what jazzercise is.
No, it was fun because he used steps. He didn't use, different little dumbbells and stuff. And then I got married, and then I got divorced, and I moved back to Fremont, and I was running at that time. And I would always have Debbie, I'm like, come run with me, and she just complained the whole time.
Well, then definitely, nothing's fucking changed.
And then she kept asking me, she's like, oh, I think you guys were still at the pole barn then. Were you? Because I remember her saying, go out to the barn and lift with us.
I was studying for my personal training when I was doing the training for I almost said Ironman, for the marathon. And I took the test, I think like 2 or 3 weeks after the marathon. But in saying that, towards the tail end of marathon training, I had started putting together my barn because we bought that. I did that marathon in October of 2013, and we bought that facility in September. My house. It's not the gym.
Right.
I bought the house in September 2013, so we had started moving all of our stuff in, and that's when I was like, ooh, when I open my personal training business, this barn is going to be where it's at.
Right.
Little did I know how quickly we would go from, one-on-one training to fucking a group. So yeah, that would have been somewhere between October and November 2013.
Yeah. So.
Did you ever come out to the barn? I don't
No.
know. No, you never.
She tried and tried
and never got to the barn.
I never did. I never did. So I just kept running, and then I re-injured my knee, and I just kind of stopped for a while, and then just kind of took a break from doing anything. And that was in the middle of moving out of my parents' house because I was going through a divorce, and then I moved into my own apartment. And then you had posted something on Facebook to offer a free month for the first 5 people that commented. So I was like, okay,
yeah, I think that was when I first started a phase. You know, like I'm a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I was a personal trainer at this time. Back then, I was very much just fucking don't think about it, just do it.
Right.
So I give the certificate that says you're a personal trainer, and I'm like, fuck, I spent a lot of money on this. How? What the fuck am I gonna do? And then I realized. I realized I was going to be a horrible employee for someone because I don't take direction well.
Right.
So I started doing personal training, and Debbie convinced, like almost immediately, early 2014. I had Sandy and her mom, and I had Evan Lejeune,
mm-hmm.
and I had a couple other people that were like spotty.
Right.
And then early on in 2014. Debbie's like, I think I'm going to convince everybody at work to do this mud run.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, first of all, what the fuck does that have to do with me?
Right.
Second of all, okay. And she goes, no, you're going to train them. And I'm like, I'm going to train them. And she's like, yeah, at that point, I kind of got sick of running and bodybuilding style workouts, and I started training for Spartan races.
Mm-hmm.
So in her mind, I was a fucking expert,
right?
You know, the thing they don't tell you about certificates and training for, say, personal training, for nutrition coaching, for all this other stuff, it doesn't change your life much at all. 90% of the shit that was on that test, I already knew.
Right.
So I'm expecting this big, aha, I know what I'm doing moment. It never came.
Right.
It was like, oh shit, I just got to start training people and I'll figure it out. Well, when she threw that wrinkle in there, like I knew how I trained.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know how to train, and I think we ended up having 10 or 12 people. To write a program for 10 or 12 various people, it was always, up until that point, it was always me or people of similar skill level.
Right.
I didn't understand scaling. I didn't understand any of the shit that you have to run. Like, I don't give a fuck what you read in a textbook,
mm-hmm.
what you go to in a seminar, things like that. You have to physically feel and see the fear in someone's eyes the first time you have to scale somebody
mm-hmm.
to understand how fucking important of a skill that is as a coach.
Right.
Both scaling up and down.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is the number one rapport building thing you can do outside of actually, shooting the shit with them, making it feel important. Like actually understanding and being able to do it in a way that the whole class doesn't hear you go, hey,
mm-hmm.
Hey, Cassandra, I think that, this probably isn't a good idea for you. Like have that nonverbal conversation where you kind of just walk over and go, hey, this is what we're going to have you do.
Right.
Don't worry about it. I got you.
Well, knowing people's different abilities and what they are capable of, and figuring out what they can and want to do.
Yeah. So you throw 10 or 12 people in my backyard at this point. I'm going, fuck, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I'm just guessing. And we had it turned out to be real successful. Mm-hmm. And then it turned out I posted a message about it on Facebook. And I think that's when my JG3 Fitness page started actually taking off. Because I posted about it. Next thing you know, I'm getting messages going, hey, will you train me too? Hey, will you train me too? And I'm talking, didn't know shit about anything.
Right.
I'm charging like fucking $40 a month to show up, and I'm giving everything I got, completely undervaluing what I'm doing, giving full access, message me whenever you want, I'll do that. And it just got to a point I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking, dude?
Right.
Like, this isn't sustainable.
No.
Like, I'm working a full-time job.
Right.
At that point I was traveling a lot, and then you go, okay,
2 little ones too.
I got 2 little ones, and now my weekends are tied up with, for $40 a month, I'm doing personal training from 10 to almost fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, this ain't gonna work. So as bad as it was that Debbie did that, it forced me real quick to learn on the fly, hey, this is your future if you're gonna keep doing this shit. You're not gonna be able to spend 6, 7, 8 hours every single weekend and be a good husband, be a good father, be able to do your own fucking fitness.
Right.
You know, that's the hardest part of coaching, is getting your own shit in sometimes. So that helped me out tremendously. But I do remember when I first was having a lot of business meetings. So my neighbor, I don't know this for a fact, but I believe my neighbor called the zoning board on us because we started having too many fucking people in my house, and we got a notice that said basically, we feel like you're running the business out of your house. And I lied to him. I'm like, no, I only do online personal training. Newsflash, I was fucking lying.
Right.
You know. But anyway, I knew I was on thin ice, and I had to figure something out. So I started having meetings with a mentor of mine at work that was like, well, let's write a business plan. So I wrote a business plan. It was as wrong as could possibly be, but I found the old facility, and I was trying to figure out, okay, I knew basically the 15 people that were coming for me paid for my rent and whatnot, but I basically went from making that money to now it's all going to expenses. Right. So one of the things that was very weak on my business plan was, how the fuck am I going to get people through the door? And I'm like, man, I don't fucking know.
Right.
So I went to an age-old trick where you just give shit away.
Right.
And you hope it works. So I remember vividly the message I think what it was I don't think it was 5 full memberships. I think what I said is, I'm going to give unlimited membership away. I'm going to give a 3-day-a-week membership away, and I was going to give away 5 T-shirt. I gave a whole bunch of shit away. Right. Well, anyway, I think that's what you responded to, and you ended up winning the free month. Didn't you?
Yeah.
Which I don't even remember how we pulled. I think we put everybody's we're fucking old school. Right. We threw everybody's name in a hat. For all I know, Debbie just said, "I know Cassandra." Right. Give it to Cassandra. I literally don't fucking remember. Right. But what time frame was that? That had to have been early. It had to have been.
I want to say
late 2015.
Yeah. It was around that time.
Because I think we had started the gym, it was doing well, but once the novelty of something new wore off, it was, hey, how are you going to deal with your first dip in clients? And I was like, people in there. What do you mean, people aren't going to quit? I'm fucking awesome at this. Yeah, newsflash, people quit. Right. And other newsflash, I piss people off. Right. Which happens time and time again. So I want to say that was mid to late 2015.
I think that's right.
Is probably, so that's... What was first impression walking? You knew Debbie.
I knew Debbie.
Obviously, you knew me from the run.
Scared to death, though.
But
man, it was so intimidating to not. I've never been a gym person. I'd gone to the Y, but I'd use the machines and use the walking track. I didn't know a weight room existed down the basement, I guess.
This was before they had the room. Well, yeah, the room upstairs.
Yeah. So, and I'd gone to the rack and just kind of done my own thing, but I really never knew what I was doing. I was just moving, but I wasn't doing anything constructive. So, but walking in there, it was a little intimidating.
Let me pause you for a second. Had you watched, I used to post a lot of videos, go live, so you hadn't watched a lot of what we do, so you didn't see, even from day one, I don't know what it is about this gym. We generate, I'm on all these coaching calls and stuff all the time, and I'm on all these recruitment stuff, and I'll be on a first firm call or whatever, and they're like, how do you get women? How do you get women? Right. I'm like, how the fuck do you get a man to walk in your door? Exactly. What the fuck? I'm 75, 80% women. What do you mean? How do you get women?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What the fuck? So you wouldn't have seen that walking into the door that, hey, these are all people just like you. We're not a typical gym that has a bunch of fucking meatheads. Right. You walk in and you're like, huh, it's a bunch of me's.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So you're terrified to walk in.
Right. I didn't know what to expect, I guess.
What did you get put at ease when you first walked in and
because
saw
Debbie
most of
was
the girls?
there, and Debbie, I made sure, I'm like, Debbie, you're going to be there. She's like, oh yeah, I'll be there for you. So, but yeah, it was a little scary to walk through that door, but once I did, I felt good being there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you remember what the first workout was you did?
I did on-ramp for a couple days.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We did on-ramp.
Who's your on-ramp
Debbie.
coach? Oh, Debbie. Did she actually do on-ramp, or did you just say, Cassandra, you're on-ramp?
No, she on-ramped me, but
little known fact for people that give me a lot of credit for the coaching here. Debbie is by far the best on-ramp coach you could ask
yeah.
for. When it comes to teaching someone the basics, Debbie is far better at it than I am because, I'm not saying I'm not a good coach, but there is something to the fact that a lot of the shit came naturally to me. I never had to struggle with shit
Right.
the way Debbie did.
Right.
So Debbie knew how to approach it from someone that was terrified
Right.
of walking in, where I've never been terrified to walk into any situation.
Right.
I'm a social butterfly. I don't really care if I embarrass myself. So it's just Debbie's personality makes her perfect for doing something like that because she knows
What it feels like.
what it feels like to be in those situations, what it
Absolutely.
feels like to be intimidated. And she really is... She really was our best on-ramp coach when we
Yeah.
were doing on-ramp style stuff.
Definitely,
So,
definitely, yeah. So I just remember being so sore from squats. Like, it hurt so bad, and I almost did not come back after 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm not doing this, but
I didn't know that.
oh yeah,
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
I almost did. I'm like, yeah, no.
Keep in mind,
this isn't
we're
for me, but
we're filming this podcast in fucking 2021. We're talking about
Right.
something in 2015.
right.
So
It was a fleeting feeling, but Debbie had me do some stretches and stuff that really helped. And once I got going, I was glad I kept with it. So
once you got out of on-ramp, do you remember, I don't remember, did you stick with the same class or did you bounce around?
I kind of bounced around. I think I was only doing the 3-day-a-week thing for a while.
Yeah.
I was scared to do Saturdays because they were team days.
Saturday has always been, it's kind of for me, and I don't know that I've ever verbalized this to anybody, but it's kind of my ode to the barn days. It's my ode to what made us what we are, which is you throw a group of people together and I stand in front of a whiteboard and I'm like, I have the intelligence to make this make sense, but what do you guys want to do?
Right.
And then we kind of come up with a workout
Right.
together. So Saturdays is one of those things I will probably never change how I do things.
Right.
Because to me, that's the part that a lot of people ask me, how do you generate that camaraderie? How do you generate that team feeling? That was one of those things where
Right.
you walk in and you know your voice is heard. When you walk in and you're terrified of coming to a Saturday and the first day I'm
Right.
like, Cassandra, what's your favorite movement? What
Right.
do you want to do? Instantly, you know there's at least one fucking
Right.
thing on that board
Give me some squats.
that you can do.
Right.
Yeah, and and I don't know that I officially did it that way back then, but I think I had a whiteboard or movement wish list or something
Yeah.
like that where that's basically how I generated
Right,
it.
right.
I've evolved it as we've got better, but so what was your first Saturday like?
It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it.
It
was
is by
so much
far the
fun.
hardest day of the week.
Oh, it is.
It's like by far
It
you're
is.
stepping
And I don't
up.
think we were doing like separate AMRAPs. I think it was one giant AMRAP
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was like 40-50 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it was partner, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was fine. But
And that was the other reason we do that that way is when you're forced every Saturday that you show up to work out with somebody different. And I'm not going to say it's like going into battle with someone because that's disrespectful to people
Right.
that actually go into battle, but you're going through some shit together. You're going to come out of that with a mutual respect
Right.
that makes it a little easier next time you see that person in the gym. Hey, we shared some shit.
Right,
like,
right.
hey, we're cool.
Right.
Like, it does do it that way. And I've always been involved in team sports growing up. I love the idea of, accountability. It's a lot easier for me to quit after 2 weeks if I don't know anybody
Right.
and I just disappear into
Right.
into the trenches or however you want to word it. It's a lot harder when you now know 15, 20, 30, 40 people are going to be like, hey, where the fuck are you at?
right, where you been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, we'll get into it more deeper later, but you've kind of become, it's hilarious hearing you say that you were intimidated to do that. Now it's like when I need someone to, when I don't have to even tell somebody, when I'm like, man, someone needs to fucking jump into this accountability group and
Right.
say some shit that's not me. It's now you.
Right.
You're the one that's always like, hey, what's up? Welcome to this group. Or,
Right.
hey, here's this nutrition tip that I've been working on. Or, hey, here's this stay-at-home workout. Hey, here's this Concept 2 fucking challenge
Right.
if you guys want to get to. Like, you've
Yeah.
become that person that's like, and I know you're part of the staff, but you've become that person that's been like, okay, I'm that motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of cool to hear that evolution go from intimidated to walk in. But I think, again, just like that's what made Debbie a good on-ramp coach.
Yeah.
That's what makes you good at the accountability side, is you know exactly what that feels
You know,
like.
and I had never ever touched a barbell in my fucking life, ever, till I started going to the gym. And that's the first time I picked,
Ever.
never picked up a barbell.
What was the first movement we had you do?
I think a deadlift.
Ooh. I mean, it's a pretty basic move.
Right.
But let me ask you this. I almost guarantee I know the fucking answer. What's your favorite lift?
Deadlift.
Now. Yeah. First thing you learned how to do is usually
Right.
your favorite thing to
Right.
do.
Oh, yeah, I'm starting to like snatches.
I never thought I'd fucking hear that.
I know.
But that's one of those moves when you get good at them, they pay off.
Right.
So you win the free month. You almost quit after 2 weeks. You finally hit a Saturday. What was the moment that made you go from it's a gym I go to this is my fucking place? I mean, it's easy for me to...
I can't really define a moment, but just over time, it's just you bond with people and you get these friendships and it's fun and you just come and talk to people and just enjoy a workout and feel good after you're done. You know, I feel great after I work out.
That's the one thing that this building, the new building we're in, that does not have, it doesn't invite hanging out as long as the old one did. The old building was so fucking big that you had this corner where everybody hung out and it became like a mingle spot.
All the bags and everything, but then your barbell would roll away.
Yeah. There was there was so much wrong with that place. That's why we moved. But that really did create a camaraderie that you didn't realize was going to happen just from everybody hanging out. But so over time you start realizing you've never quit over the 6-year period, have you? Not even taking a...
No, I've taken like a couple months off, I think, because of my knee one time. And then I saw Debbie, we were dropping off the kids at PSR, and she punched me in the arm, said, get your ass to the gym. I said, okay.
There you
and
go.
I did.
Yeah.
So.
Debbie's good at that. I was telling a story to a couple of returning members that are coming back for this fall challenge, and I was telling a story of when I was on 75 hard, and Debbie she knows exactly how to say something that's complimentary enough where you feel okay, but she pisses you off in the way she says it that it makes you even motivated to try. So the story I was telling is in 75 hard, she called me skinny. And I mean, I think for a solid 2 weeks, I bitched about it nonstop.
Right.
Every time it became a running joke that people now, when they want to piss me off, they just call me skinny. But she was acknowledging, hey, you're doing a good job, honey. But it was her way of still keeping it to where you're still motivated.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you're doing good. You look a little skinny. And it's like,
excuse you?
what the fuck did you just say to me?
You're not wrong.
It's like, shit. Now I gotta keep pushing.
Right.
Now I gotta try harder. But that's one of the things that people don't realize how sneaky Debbie can be with her. She's very cerebral. As someone that's married to her and have to fight with her for a living, like there are times she drops little nuggets on me, and it's like 3 days later before I realize how bad of a burn it actually was. I'm like, fuck, I know I'm mad, but we've already made up, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking remember this next time. And then the next time she hits you with something like completely different, I'm like, fuck, she's like an assassin.
She is.
She's a very.
She really is.
I love her to death, but she knows how to. She definitely knows how to fucking verbally throw down. And I consider myself a pretty good verbal battler. So there's times where me and her in the same room, both in a bad mood, are not the prettiest sight to see. But it is what it is. Right. Anyway, so first time you ever touched a barbell, you deadlift. Do you have any idea how long it took for you to actually start actually enjoying lifting? Or was it love at first fucking lift? Or was it still a little awkward? But then
still a little awkward because I remember doing overhead squats with just the PVC.
Yeah.
With my nose against the rail of the rig, basically.
Yeah,
so,
I remember that.
Squat into a ball.
Yeah, squat therapy. Yeah. I definitely did that
So.
a handful of times with you.
But yeah, after that, just over time, I've really started to love lifting and just moving weight.
correct me if I'm wrong, don't you have like some kind of barbell tattoo?
I do.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Just
you
a
got
little
it's a
one.
little heart with a barbell in it, right? Yeah, so you went from having never touched it in the majority of your life to, hey, I love this enough to
Right.
put it permanently on my body.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
a pretty cool.
Just something powerful about moving a heavy weight, regardless of how you're moving it. You know,
I think that
hitting those PRs and just, it's so motivating. And
absolutely. I think that what a lot of women or a lot of men, a lot of people don't understand is the power of realizing how strong your fucking body is. Like, you look at someone and you have this snapshot in your head before you lift that, hey, this is what this person is. And then once you're a coach, you start realizing, hey, I probably shouldn't judge that because someone looks at me, they would not think I'm as strong as I am.
Right.
You look at yourself in the mirror and you don't realize you're as strong as you are. And there's something just primal about realizing, hey, I'm tough.
right.
Hey, I'm strong. And I wish everybody got that feeling.
Me too.
There are so many people that are you know, I still get this today. I mean, you're a coach here. How many people have walked in here and been like, yeah, I don't do the lifting days. Jay says I get, and we put a barbell in their hand and we
Right.
do something really light and I turn
Yeah,
it into a
absolutely.
Metcon. But I really wish that they just understood the power of how much that's going to help your body in the long run.
Right.
How much that's going to help. Like, unfortunately, there's still this stigma in the world that the way to lose weight and the way to burn fat
Right.
is to just cardio the fuck, and it's got to be miserable. It's got to be
Right.
hell. It's got to be hard. And the fact of the matter is, proper nutrition and fucking resistance training
Yep.
at a smart intensity is going to give you way more results than doing fucking running and burpees every day.
Right.
But where does everybody start their exercise journey? We flash back earlier to this conversation. You were running.
Yep.
That's the de facto standard for everybody is, it's almost like a punishment. Like,
Right.
I put on 10 pounds, I got to run. Where running is more about cardiovascular improvement.
Right.
It's not, it is going to burn calories. It's just not going to burn fat. People don't realize the intensity with which you run. Even when you're going easy, your heart rate's zone 3, 4, 5.
Right.
You're not in a low intensity. You're not in an optimal fat burning intensity, and you're not actually building muscle. So in
Right.
reality, you're not doing. You're just burning calories.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So I wish people understood and chose the barbell life more. And I say barbell life, but I don't care. Grab a fucking kettlebell.
Right.
Grab anything.
Lose some
Just
weight.
get to the point where your arms feel like they're burning, when your legs feel like they're burning.
Yep.
That's a good sign for you. It fucking sucks for a couple days,
Yeah.
sucks for a couple weeks, but once you get past
Yeah.
that, man, that's
Just keep up with the consistency, because even if you take a break and come back to it, you're gonna be hurting more.
fuck. 3 minutes before we started this podcast, I told you how horrible my legs were right now. Like,
Right.
it doesn't. If you stop lifting, it goes away. Or if you switch up the style of lifting, you get it back.
Yeah.
You get the soreness back.
Yeah.
You start hitting muscles in a different way, and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm not as fit as I thought I was.
Right.
But again, I think that's if you go back to the beauty that is the human body, how differently you can train every time and get a different stimulus. Like, the body can do amazing things, and you can have some trauma with it and still go. I mean, I think back at some of the dumbest accomplishments I've had, like, leading up to it, I didn't even think they were fucking possible. Like Mission 24, when I first announced it, sounded like the stupidest fucking idea
Right.
on planet Earth. But in reality, all things considered, that went pretty damn smooth.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was fucking tired. I'm not
Oh,
going
yeah.
to pretend like I'm not. But doing 24 hero workouts in 24 hours is a stupid fucking idea.
Absolutely.
But the way that I approached it, I really made sure that, you know, I had the right people around me to make sure I was safe, that I wasn't going to do anything stupid.
Right.
I had Debbie, who was going to make sure. My tendency is, and I think your workout that you did with me was a perfect example. I think it was like 10 or 12 hours in, And it was two movements that I enjoy. It was rowing and back squats.
Yep.
And I remember an immature me would have tried to do it at a heavier weight just to prove how fucking tough I was. But Debbie, one of the agreements that we made when I first said I was doing Mission 24 is she had final say in like weights and when I needed to scale and shit like that. And that was one of those where she's like, hey, be smart, dumbass. Like, your job's not to impress anybody.
Right, exactly.
Your job's to make this fun. So I approach each workout as, hey, I'm going to have fun on this. And I think even, I don't want this to come across as disrespectful, but even at your weight, I think I cramped like a motherfucker during that. Like, I still struggled really bad with the workout. So imagine had I been cocky and tried going with, 30% heavier, that could have ended bad had I,
Absolutely.
and think about 12 more hours on this shit. So approaching that thing pretty smart is probably why I got through it. But that's one of those mental moments where I was like, man, the human body, if you just have a positive attitude and the proper amount of people around you, I couldn't believe how good of a mood I was in the entire time.
Right.
Like, I was dancing, I actually had fun.
Right.
And I would have never thought, if you'd have told me, hey, in 12 weeks you're going to do 24 workouts in 24 hours. The key that a lot of people miss about that is we raised fucking $7,500 for local veterans.
Exactly.
Like, that's why I did this shit. But had you told me I was going to feel good the next day and I was going to be back to working out like 3 days later, I'd have called you fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The only thing that took a beating was my fucking hands were destroyed. But anyway, you've been around for a lot of our fundraisers. You've been around for a lot of the extracurricular. I'm struggling with that word. But you've been around for a lot of the things that we've done in the gym. What's been your favorite thing that we've done as a gym family that you wouldn't consider like a gym to do, I guess?
No.
Is there anything that stands out to you? We've done some cool shit.
Yeah. I think when you guys did that fundraiser for you're flushing people's lawns.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Holy fucking hell. We almost got our asses kicked at one point on it. Did we ever tell you this? Oh man.
Fun.
Yeah, that was so little known fact about that was a Katie Brinley and I forget who else had done a fundraiser before and they brought it up. So we painted we got some old toilets, we painted them purple and we put Kick It to Cancer on there, and then we had a little lawn sign that said you've been flushed. And for $10 you got to we picked the toilet up, and for $20 we would not flush you again. And on the $10 when we picked it up, you got to pick where we moved the toilet to. And that was another one we raised a couple grand for the Kick It to Cancer fund. But I remember someone calling us drunk off their ass, telling us to get the fucking toilet out of their yard. And I was like,
oh no.
The only reason I know about that is Debbie typically handles like fundraising type stuff.
Right.
That day she's like, you're coming with me. Like the person sounded that pissed off.
Yikes.
But he was just drunk. Once he calmed down and realized what it was, he was like, oh, here's $20. Can you? And he's like, fucking get this guy. And I'm like, that's our life right there.
Right,
we went from fucking
that's
thinking
funny.
we were going to fight to making $20 on the thing. But yeah, I forgot about that one. That one's an interesting.
It's always fun.
I like that one. I always loved the mud runs up at Black Swamp. Have you done?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did one of those with us.
We did one. We drank during it.
Yeah,
Hops.
yeah. What the fuck do we call her? What's Team No Spill?
Team No Spill.
Team
Yep.
No Spill,
Going over
yeah.
obstacles with open container.
Yeah, that one was funny because Corey Lunsford's usually a pretty laid back guy, and me, him, and TiVo were running together. I mean, we were all in a close group, but TiVo goes, Jay, all of our beers right there in your truck.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, we could go get it, I guess. And Corey Lunsford, before I could say anything, goes, race you, bitch. And he jumped over, and we me, him, and TiVo sprinted, and we came back with literally, I think between the three of us, my pants were almost falling off. We came back with like 30 beers.
Right.
And it was literally, we tried doing an obstacle course without drink, but then it turned into like a whole, like the volunteers are now trying to find us beer.
Right.
And throw it, like it
Throw
turned
us
into
beers,
a whole fucking crazy thing.
We're like,
that
here,
you're
hold
like,
my beer while I go
was-
through this obstacle.
It was just, it was one of those, I like moments that don't feel forced or planned. Like that was no way, shape, or form.
Right.
Like I actually thought Debbie was going to kill me when we
Yeah.
first started that. And
I was a little worried. I thought we
she-
were going to get in trouble or yelled at
Yeah.
or something, but we
Um,
weren't timed or anything. It wasn't
yeah,
official, so
yeah.
I don't think
Fun
so.
fact about that: me, Corey, and don't remember who else. We never lost our obstacle band. We finished every
Oh, yeah.
obstacle drunk off our ass. Like finished every one
Right.
of them. I could not believe that we ended up pulling it off. But yeah, that was a fun one for me. Any of the camping trips that we've done have been really fun. Anything. For me, I'm obviously a little partial. I have the banner hanging up in the gym, but the fundraiser we did for Joe's family
Absolutely.
is always going to be, it's going to be hard for me to ever top that. In my life, it's going to be hard for me to
Yeah.
have done something that means as much to me as that did at that particular time. And it was, that was a lot of work.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
people don't realize how much, I don't think me and Debbie slept for fucking 3 days.
Yeah, it was quite a big thing, and it ran smoothly though. The whole competition itself, it was real good.
Yeah. Whoever had the bright idea to give me a live mic and run around for fucking 6 hours was pretty. In saying that, I was on my like. That was. I think that's why that's so special to me. Is everybody had thought, oh my God, Jay with the live microphone in downtown Fremont.
Right.
What the fuck is going to come out of his mouth? But I knew the mission was not, it's not about me. It was about raising money for the girls. It was about honoring Joe's legacy. So
Absolutely.
I was able to still be me, but not cross any of those boundaries that people were
Yeah,
expecting me
definitely,
to do. So that was just fun. So for those of you listening that don't know what we're talking about, a buddy of mine passed. If you listen to the Road to Ironman back before we switched the name of this, you'll hear that whole story. But his whole dream was for us to shut down Front Street and run a competition.
Yeah.
So when he was getting sick, when it became apparent that he wasn't going to make it, I think it was Carrie that said it. It was either Carrie or Taylor that were like, you have to run this competition. And I was like, yeah. And Debbie was like, and that's when you know it changes. Debbie's like, we're doing this.
Right.
And I'm like,
I guess we're doing this.
I guess we're doing this shit. So we picked a day. That was a handful just to pick the day, because to figure out Carrie's schedule, both girls are in sports. One's getting ready for college, just
Yeah.
graduate. Like to figure out that was literally the only day from June through September that all of us were free on.
Right.
And then eventually, I think Elena ended up being late as hell to it, because I think she had a volleyball game that ended up popping up. But anyway, the key was shutting down Front Street, so you can't preset anything up. Nothing
Right.
could be set up.
Yep.
So
I remember
literally
that.
the night before, I remember you were there pretty late. I mean, there was at least 25 of us that were
Oh, yeah.
there at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, we had our buddy Steven doing a fucking concert.
Yeah.
Like, so we're doing sound checks. We're doing all this shit inside, and nothing's going the way it's supposed to.
Right.
But we're just, and I'm like, oh, we got to get up tomorrow. We have exactly fucking 1 hour to set everything up.
Yeah.
Do the briefings to make sure everything gets done. During that, Steven's gonna be performing a fucking concert.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We got vendors showing up. We got all this other stuff. I was like, man, this is gonna be stressful. So for us to have got everything set up, everything ran smooth, no issues. Scott even surprised everybody with having pizza delivered when we were tearing everything down. The moment where it was over, we were all sitting there in the gym eating the pizza. That was the first time the whole entire day I allowed myself to go, holy fuck, we did it.
Right.
Like, it was so cool.
Yeah, and I think having a team of people and just everybody doing something and helping.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you had 95% of members that had been a member of the gym showed up in some capacity to help out.
Yep.
And that speaks volumes to the person that Joe was, because everybody wanted to be there
Be a
to
part
help
of it.
about it.
Yeah.
Fucking COVID ruined the second annual. I don't know if we'll ever do it again, because then now we missed a third year this year. So, but that was probably my favorite moment of like fundraising and things like that,
Yeah.
just because of the sheer impact that we did on it, and the
Yeah.
amount of people that ended up showing. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was
Quite a turnout.
crazy busy. Like, yeah, that's one of the coolest.
It was very cool.
It was one of the
That.
coolest things we've ever done. Don't know that we'll top it. We're gonna fucking try.
We'll figure it out.
We're I got some weird shit cooking that when I turn 40, I'm probably gonna. I'm gonna top Mission 24 is getting topped this year, and I'm gonna do a full Ironman. So 2022 could be a big fucking year.
Yeah.
We'll see how all that.
Forward to it.
We'll see how all that plays out. I think 2022 is the year Cassandra logs 1 million miles on a Concept 2 machine. Is that how? Have you logged all year?
Anything? No. Well, the stuff I do at home on my bike erg, I do log, but like stuff I've done here throughout the year, I don't.
Do you know how many meters you have this year?
Can look. I want to say it's like 150,000 with this challenge going on. I've logged quite a bit, but
How often are you riding? Because you have a bike erg at home, right?
I try to get on a couple times a week. So I have 156,000 miles this year between all the machines.
So 1 million seems totally doable next year.
Yeah. Do it. I'll get right on that.
That used to be when I first started
You
CrossFit.
get a T-shirt if you do it. If you're Concept 2.
I was gonna say the first year I did CrossFit, that was a big thing, was the million, and it was just rowing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they had the bike erg back then. They only had
No,
the rower.
and I tried. They didn't even have the skier.
No.
And I tried. I remember calculating it out with the way that I traveled and all. I had to row like 3,500 meters every time I was in the gym. And it sounds very doable, but I think March, my ass was finally like, dude, I'm done. I'm not sitting on this fucking rower anymore. Like, this isn't worth it. And it goes back to, you got to have a why.
Right.
If you're going to do something, you have to have a why. Because the first day my ass hurt, and I'm like, okay, we need to do this. And I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this again?
Right.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
Right.
Right? You just hit a point where you don't care. So anyway, we move. You were a very integral part in the move as well. You helped paint this place, didn't you?
Yeah. A lot of painting. A lot of painting.
Well, let's back up for a second. At what point did you become the official cleaning lady?
The maid.
The maid.
Gosh. Well, I did it for 4 years. Right? So.
Yeah.
There was just one Saturday or something. I was hanging out with Debbie. Maybe it was a weekday. I was off. And I came down for a morning workout during the week, and she had said something about losing, or what they were paying for what you guys were paying for a cleaning lady or whatever. And
I wasn't paying for a cleaning
I
lady.
don't know if
It
you're
was,
paying or you're looking around for quotes or something.
I was,
maybe,
yeah.
or she was,
I,
or somebody. to
I
do
was
the
looking at a
floors.
cleaning lady because that old facility, I don't have to tell you, it was fucking huge.
Yeah.
And so we were there 7 days a week, and then spending 4 or 5 hours on Sunday cleaning it. And I finally snapped and was like, I don't give a fuck what it costs. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
That's a sad reality for a lot of small
Right.
businesses. Is you're fucking everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're the bookkeeper,
Yep.
you're the sales staff, you're the marketing staff, you're the fucking service staff, you're everything.
Well, she hired it out.
And we hired it out. So, yeah, Debbie handled all that. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember going, find someone to fucking clean.
Yeah.
I don't care. And you guys worked out your deal. But you did that for
4 years.
4 years. So when we moved into this facility, you're probably like, damn, this is way nicer.
Oh yeah, and I was like, I'll clean the bathrooms for you too,
Yeah,
since
yeah.
I'm not doing as much floors.
But yeah, that was a cool. It was very cool for us because it's probably why we kept the gym open, because it saved us a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was always very important to us to point out every single, every December up until last year, we did a big, I don't want to call it an awards banquet because you're not really giving out awards, but in reality,
Right.
I did do a lot of little things where I gave away and it was always important for me not just to call you staff because you do help out with coaching and things like that, but to actually point out, hey, when you come in and this place smells clean and
For a day.
everything's fucking perfect, like fucking acknowledge
Right.
it.
It's very appreciated too.
Um,
And people would say things to me. Oh yeah, it looks so nice. It looks so good. It
Which,
smells
let's
good."
face it, that old facility was fucking looked like a shithole.
It
No matter
was so
how
hard to make it look good. Like I could have mopped for 5 days straight, and it would have still been dirt coming up. But
I remember when we first moved in, that floor was so fucking disgusting.
Oh, was it?
We probably went through 8 mop heads and mopped
oh,
2-3 times a day for like the first month. And we couldn't get rid of the grease smell because it was a former car
Right,
shop. It
right.
just smelled like fucking. I remember doing burpees on the floor. Like, I think we did Tyler Young's initial, like his interview. Tyrone did it in the barn. Cassie did it in the barn because they were having the building. When
Right.
Tyler came on board, I was like, "Yeah, show up for an interview." And he's like, "What's my interview?" I'm like, "Give me a workout." He goes, "What do you mean, give you a workout?" I'm like, "You're gonna write a workout
Right.
out, and we're gonna do it together. And if I like the workout, and I like the way you explain it, and the way you tell me and Debbie, since we're different ends of the spectrum, how you scale it for both of us, we're gonna figure out if you're a good fucking coach or not."
Right.
But we were doing burpee box jump overs, and I remember going down, just going, "What the fuck is that smell?" Like, it was so bad because this was a month before we opened.
Okay.
So it was just
Right.
we had just got the keys, and it was disgusting in there. It was so bad.
yeah.
So yeah, there's no way you could have made that smell
Never.
and look like this place does.
No, it's definitely. But I did my best with what I could do.
Yeah.
with it.
I mean, the key was the equipment was always very clean.
Yeah.
And looked amazing. So once we move in here, what did you notice? Well, first of all, we get shut down almost immediately.
Yeah.
So that takes a huge hit on our. How did that affect your personal health?
Oh,
Was it
a lot?
Because I was sharing. I just did one with Shannon. I was sharing with her when we were doing those Zoom workouts. That was the only time I worked out. I was not
Same.
I didn't do anything above and beyond. I almost became an alcoholic again. To be honest with you, this was not the right response. I understand that now, but my response when we were doing it is, fuck them. If I'm not important, if I'm non-essential, if my business doesn't matter to you, I keep getting turned down for PPP loans and all this other bullshit. Go fuck yourself. Take my shit. I don't care anymore.
yeah.
Like that.
It
That's
was-
not the right attitude to have.
It was hard for everybody, obviously. And, right before we got shut down,
This
I
place
was-
was buzzing too.
Yeah.
Because we were about to open our
Yeah.
literally Joe's birthday, or I'm sorry, the anniversary of Joe's death.
Right.
Was literally the first workout we did, and it was fucking packed in here.
Yep.
And we got 2 weeks of gym time, and I'm telling you, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., fucking packed.
yep.
And then one Sunday, hey,
Right.
it was a Monday. Hey, tomorrow you guys are shut down.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ouch.
I wish I could say I did not get as many texts as I did. Hey, cancel my membership until this is over. Hey, I know I can't afford, and I got it completely.
Yeah.
But as a business owner, I'm going,
Ouch.
everything I've worked for just is slipping through my cracks. And a lot of those people still to this time, haven't come
Yeah.
back. And that's why I asked, what was your mental health like during that? What was your physical health like during
Yeah.
that? Because even as a gym owner, people look at me and they're like, oh, it must be easy for you. Motherfucker, no, I fell way off. I mean, in reality, if you've listened to the Road to Optimal Self up to this point, I got so unhealthy. My stomach got fucked up. I went overboard, and it took me. I'm still paying for the effects
Yeah.
of those decisions.
Personally, right before COVID hit, I was doing some rope climbs. I was doing box jumps. I was doing those things that it was 30
That it-
pounds lighter
That
too.
it had taken you years to get to
Yes.
because of your knee and,
Yeah.
and other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're shut down. Oh, it'll just be like a couple weeks. Well, it was longer than just a couple weeks, and then
Yeah.
just, you know, and just the transition even in work life. Like, I'm going to the office every day, I'm at the office, I'm talking to people, I'm around people, you know, I'm up and down, and
You're-
you know,
you're
now
walking
I'm stuck
around,
at home at
yeah.
the table for
Yeah,
8 hours.
My steps that I take
Mm-hmm.
have gone down according to my phone, and I don't always carry my phone, but it's at least similar to how
Yeah.
it used to be. My steps went down almost 50%.
Oh yeah, easy.
Because I was always one of those, like, I was always walking around talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then it became, you know,
Yeah,
12 weeks to stay in your fucking office, don't go anywhere.
right.
You know.
Yeah, no, I was, you know, I'm at home, and I'm still at home hybrid, but being at home, I'm not getting up and going to the printer. I'm not going up and going to the bathroom. That's all the way down the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not walking to the other side of the building to go to the bathroom to get some steps in and get some movement in. You know, I'm just walking 10 steps to our bathroom from the dining room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it hit hard. And then dealing with school for my daughter too, and trying to keep her on task, you know, because they lost so it was like third grade was her last normal full year, lost part of fourth for COVID. Fifth, she was back and forth, and now we're back to school normal, but it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough, and I'm still feeling the effects of it. You know, I gained 25 pounds in that time, which bothers me. But
I think, if I may, and I'd like to hear your opinion on this. I think it became a badge of honor that I was ordering food to help my local small businesses. So you ended up eating out way more than you ever would.
Yeah.
It became easy to neglect groceries. It became easy to just go, we'll just do takeout from
Right.
A's, Fort Ball,
Right.
fucking CR Juice, you name all, you know, we know all these businesses.
Yeah.
It became a badge of honor, like, hey, I'm supporting these people.
Right. And we, you know, we live all the way out in, you know, 20 minutes from town. So, you know, for us to get takeout, it wasn't very often, but we still did it more often than we do normally. I mean, normally we cook a lot, but, I mean, we're supporting Jimmy G's, you know, Fort Ball, and, you know, all the good, yummy foods.
Fuck yeah. It's
So.
great stuff. So at what point they reopen us? May, June time frame? It was June, because I remember we ran a class illegally. We ran Murph. And it
They
was
said
all-
as long as the doors were open,
Yeah.
we were fine, because it was
we
outside.
We did call and get clearance, but still, gyms were technically closed. But I think we were allowed to open like a week later
Right,
anyway.
right.
But I'm pretty sure we did that whole. After that point, I'm like, fuck it, we're staying open.
Yeah.
At what point? So we go March to June, basically. You're shut down. You build these new habits of takeout food, maybe not tracking what you eat. At what point did you start feeling like? Because even when we came back, it was 6 feet squares. It was, you know. We didn't really know
No
what the
sharing
fuck it was. I
equipment,
mean, so it was still very different than how we normally run classes and how we've got to run back to classes. And you're still thinking, you know, there's still a lot of businesses that are hurt. So I know a lot of people would work out here and then grab Fort Ball or CR Juice and go
Yeah.
home. And I'm like, you just fucking ruined your workout.
Yeah.
But at what point did you feel I'm ready to attack again?
Probably the last challenge we did. We just finished up. The
So
8
almost
week.
a year later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Finally getting it dialed in, and I think the app helps a lot. With
that
tracking.
app has saved my nutrition coaching.
Yeah.
100%. You worked with me a little bit before I got that app,
Yeah.
and the communication's so fucking hard. It's like, oh, hey, show me your logs from MyFitnessPal. Oh,
Right.
hey, you didn't send me the screenshot, but hey, I don't remember that you didn't send me the screenshot because I don't have anything alerting me who the fuck I'm working with currently.
Right.
Who's, you know, it made my shit a lot easier, and more importantly, this is going to come across cocky or arrogant, and I don't mean it to be
Right.
that way,
No, I know it.
but me and Debbie finally got back on the plan this year. We were dangling, and by the time this airs, it'll come out, so it won't be a secret, but we came pretty fucking close to selling this bitch in 2020.
Right.
Like, we came real fucking close to just, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I think we hit a point where timing's everything. I find, James Lawrence does the Conquer 100. I find First Form. I strike my deal with First Form. The app becomes, literally within weeks of being with First Form, hey, we're doing this summer challenge.
Yeah.
Which I had always done challenges, but the way they ran a challenge made me better at a challenge because I had a blueprint from coaches that are reminding me, hey, dumbass, did you do this, this, and this? And I'm going, oh, would have forgot that part.
Right.
Because I'm a fucking small town dude. Like, I don't know all that, but now I got these whole group of resources that say, do it this way, do it. And I'm not saying they're telling you exactly how to do it. They're saying, here's the blueprint. Make it yourself. Make it your own.
Right.
So it just, timing was perfect on that. And everybody jumped in, and that's when you felt the entire gym kind of go whoop. You felt that whole energy, like, hey, we're coming back. We're coming back.
Because for a while there, it was really just kind of, it just felt like I was just going through the motions.
Well, it was a gym. It was just a gym again.
Yeah.
It was just, hey, even when I was here, I'm not saying I wasn't a good coach, but I was nowhere near, like, I was dealing with my own demons.
Right.
Like, so I finally...
It's hard to make other people feel good when you don't feel good.
Yeah. But that's why one of First Form's biggest core values is lead by example. When I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, when Debbie's not doing what she's supposed to do, no one in the fucking gym's going to do it.
Right.
And you might have one or two outliers that are really motivated, but in reality, the gym goes or dies by your top. So your staff. If we sit here and we as a staff go, all right, let's break it down. I'm crushing it. You're crushing it. Debbie's crushing it. Trina's crushing it. Lex is crushing it. Shanna's crushing it. The whole place is gonna go.
Right.
You got to have a high number of the people crushing it to bring your. And unfortunately, we had a couple of staff people. I would consider you on there where you were doing better than I was. But then I'm around and you're just like, even he's not in the fucking mood.
Right.
So we just, that whole first challenge, and I believe this second challenge is going to be even bigger because now we're all building off of that.
Right.
We all learned, and now you're seeing people walk through the door that haven't been here in a year or 2 years that are going, oh.
Yeah. And I think people are seeing results too, and I didn't share my stuff publicly, but even though I didn't lose any pounds on the scale, like my body composition changed.
Huge. I know. I'm one of the only people that saw I'm sure Corey saw it, but.
No, Corey didn't see it.
Oh, really?
No. But Lex saw it, and I think I shared it with Morgan too.
Yeah.
So, and just to see Morgan's transformation too is amazing.
God damn,
Everybody
she
else
did fucking.
Yeah,
she
did.
She crushed it. Selena's was equally as good. She just didn't. Yeah,
I saw hers too.
She wasn't comfortable posting her pictures.
Yeah.
I think Morgan was. I don't want to say it this way, but Morgan was a little bigger, but she had just come off a baby.
Right.
Just to start,
Postpartum.
so that became. That's why I think Morgan's is better. But we had multiple people lose 20 pounds. It just became a good time. But now it's so much easier to point to Morgan and people see those pictures and she's standing across the room. So when Megan Urista goes, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm like, hey, you see Morgan over there? She got 4 check marks every day.
Right.
It's possible. You just got to do the fucking work.
Exactly.
And then Megan looks over and goes, oh, okay.
Right.
I just got to do the work. It sucks doing the work.
It does.
Like,
It
I
really
shouldn't
does.
say it sucks doing the work. It takes practice doing the work. It's just like anything. Just like we talked about when COVID shuts us down, we all fell out of practice.
Absolutely.
When you get in the practice of tracking your shit, you get better at it.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't realize this. They think, oh my God, it's this app that forces you to track. How many times have I actually had to go, hey, track your food? I normally say, give me fucking 70%.
Yep.
You guys end up stepping it up more and more. I think it definitely helped that I was dialed in during that challenge. I was hitting my 4 green check marks, and I'm posting it every day, and it becomes like, oh, okay, it is fucking possible to do this.
It is.
But that first week hitting your protein,
I'm still struggling.
Yeah.
I still struggle with protein, but I try to get as close as I can.
We might have to lower yours a little bit,
I
but
think
we're
so.
not going to talk about that on the air. But anyway, so that challenge, it's funny that you said that challenge has reignited it. I just want to tell one more story because we're coming up we're right at an hour. I don't really have time frames on these, but it was a special moment to me, as stupid as this is going to fucking sound, when you quit being the cleaning lady. So I know that sounds fucking weird to say,
Right.
but the sincerity in your voice, like, you almost look nervous. Like I was
like,
doing something. I don't think you realized it was my fucking birthday when you told me.
Oh, was it? I'm sorry.
No, it didn't matter. So we were doing some. I was doing jujitsu, and you kind of were just hanging out.
Yeah.
And I'm horrible at. I am not on a schedule most times. I'm like fucking loo-doo-doo,
Right.
I'm talking, and I finally noticed you kind of like really nervous energy coming from you, and you were standing over here, and I'm like, Chris, I got to see what the fuck's wrong with Cassandra, because she looks, I don't even know what you look like, but you
Right.
look like you were extremely nervous.
Yeah.
So why were you so nervous to?
I didn't want to disappoint you.
But
Even though I wasn't doing anything wrong,
yeah. But in saying that, do you remember my reaction when you told me?
You're like, cool.
Like, like I almost had a sigh of relief, like, oh my God, I thought something was fucking wrong.
Right.
Like you had me like freaked out, like you were gonna tell me like really, really bad news when you're
Yeah,
like,
no.
hey, and you gave me a month's notice or
Right.
something like that, and I was like,
Even though you told everybody I quit abruptly.
I did. After
me shit.
after
Gave me
I
shit
knew how
about it.
much it was fucking wearing on me, I
Right.
was like, oh, now I'm gonna turn this into a joke. But
Yeah.
that is, like I said, that was one of the coolest moments as an owner, because the amount of respect right there, and it showed mutually that I was just
absolutely.
like, cool, like, hey,
Understand.
you I get it. I actually think I told you I'm fucking shocked it took you this long.
Right.
I think was my exact response. And now that I'm cleaning the gym again, I'm fucking really shocked.
Right.
That it took you that long. But that was such a cool moment for me, because it just showed the bond that everybody has at this gym, and
Absolutely.
specifically you had in this moment where you were like, you felt like you were letting someone down
Yeah.
by quitting, and it's like,
Right.
your kid's getting older, you got all this
Stuff
shit
to
going
do,
on.
yeah.
Like, I get it,
Yeah.
and so that was as crazy as it sounds, that's one of my
That's
top
funny.
moments. It's just funny, because if you could have seen your face, you
Yeah.
look like,
I'm sure.
you look like
I was
you were.
like,
You
oh.
remember like high school speech class when you weren't good? Like,
I didn't do speech in high
Yeah.
school. I did it in college, though.
yeah.
so
See, this was
Still the same.
This was pre me. Like, I do this shit for a living now. You can
Right.
throw me in front of fucking 400 people, and I don't give a fuck. I mean, sure, there's. You throw me in front of the top 400 coaches at First Form, I'm probably gonna be nervous, not because of being in front of them, but just because the opportunity. You know what I mean? Like. But that's what you look like, is you were like that high school student going, look, fucking please don't make me do my speech today.
Right.
Please don't make me do it. I'm like, and then they call your name, it's like, fuck,
Yes.
I gotta do it today.
Yeah.
I remember one time in a high school speech class, I had to do a how-to speech. And it was supposed to be on how to do a golf swing, because I was on the high school golf team, and I fucking love golf. And we had to do a 5-minute speech, and I remember watching the timer. I didn't teach a fucking thing about golf. I literally stood up there and I explained what a driver was, and I explained why I like golf. And then as soon as the timer went to 0, I said, does anybody have any questions? And I walked the fuck off. And I got a fucking, she still gave me a C, because
Yeah.
I was one of the only ones that made time. But I was like, I didn't even fucking do the task
Right.
that you asked me to do. Like, I should have failed. Like, in reality, you should have failed me.
Exactly.
But that's what you reminded me of, is that
Yeah.
kid going, oh, I don't want to teach somebody how to golf.
Yeah.
Like, please don't make anybody look at me.
Exactly.
Like,
Don't look at me,
I'm
everybody turn around
I'm
and
so
they can-
awkward right now. Like,
Yeah.
oh, please don't
Yeah.
fucking talk to me.
But
Anyway, I like to end these. One thing that's had the most positive impact on your road to optimal self, whether it be nutrition, whether it be health, whether it be wellness, if you had to pinpoint one thing when you went from COVID back to June when you were hitting it, what is one thing that you feel like every single day puts you on the path to being a better version of yourself? It can be a book you read, it can be a podcast you listen to, it could be I've given the fucking task list on the app, it could be anything. Like, is there one thing that you can point to? Or
I think the accountability that I get from coming here keeps me showing up and keeps me logging into the app every day. Just showing up, I think, makes it worth it. At least.
Yeah, that's...
If you show up and do something, even on the days, even when I had COVID and I was recovering from COVID, you know, coming in and just getting on the bike for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Rowing for 5 minutes just to kind of move the air. Just doing something is better than nothing.
That is one of the most powerful answers that we've gotten. I mean, don't get me wrong, books are great, things like that, but that is so, I always like to say the term simple, not easy, right? It's so simple. Just fucking show up.
Show up.
And that could be just track your food.
Yeah.
Just, even on the days you don't want to, just do a little bit. And you're going to be better off in the long run. Absolutely. Fucking great answer. Yeah. That is a good fucking answer.
Thank you.
But, yeah, I still going to go back to, I've been pimping them for the last, I don't know how many fucking odd podcasts, but the Compound Journal has literally 2 things I'm grateful for every morning. Keeps my budget. I have to write out what I spend, you know. Power list, 5 things that I have to get done today. When I literally look at this power list, if I only do 5 things today, that's the shit that I'm writing down.
Yeah.
And being honest with yourself, like there's times I write shit on my power list and I don't get it done.
Yeah.
And I go, that's an L for the day.
Yep.
That sucks. But being brutally honest with yourself, the accountability part is I didn't do what I was supposed to do today.
Accept it and recognize it and move on.
2 fantastic things that happened today, like doing that right before you go to bed. It really puts you into perspective what matters to you. Like when you sit there and you go, I did this, but it doesn't actually give you the warm and fuzzy. You're not excited to write it on the paper. That's not fucking it. That's
right.
not. It's not the shit you want to. If it's on my power list and I check it off, and it's not going to be one of my 2 fantastic things for the day, does it really need to be on my power list?
Right.
You know, does it really need to be on there? And then what could I have done better today? That to me, that so fucking simple, not easy.
Right.
It's so simple to look at your life and go, if I did this, this, and this, I will move in the right direction. And frankly, I started the Compound Journal right around the time I started 75 Hard, which was right around the time that you said the gym turned around, right around the time I said the gym turned around.
Absolutely.
So there seems to be something with this, just show up.
Yeah, just show up.
Just show up.
Show up.
Anything else you want to throw out there?
I don't think so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The coolest part, Katie and I talked about this, the coolest part is 1 hour and 8 minutes right now. This is probably the longest conversation me and you have ever had, uninterrupted, especially for me. Everyone's always trying to get my attention. To have, like, it's such a blessing to be able to do stuff like that. Thank you very much for spending a little bit of your time with me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you.
This has been The Road to Optimal Self with Jay and Cassandra. Boom.
Bye.